ñu bari dañ judd sax fekk mu nekk di happen li nga xam ne mooy every Eid bu jotee rek julli korité bu rek da nga gis ne ku nekk njiit ci réew mi dina dajale ñi nga xam ne rek ñooy muslim elders yi ñu koy waxee sa Banjul muslim elders waaye léegi gën naa yaatu lool gis neen président bi tamit yëkkati na fa ay kaddu bari na nag yi mu fa waxtaan boot am na yoo xam ne rek bëgg nañu digest ko together fii mooy bokk na ci kaddu yi nga xam ne yëkkati na ko jëme ko ci media bi ñu bari nag yëkkate ni ñii ne dafay xupp media bi ñii ne lu xew ñii ne media bi war nañoo xoolaat seen bopp ku nekk ak gis-gis bi nga xam ne am na ko si am na ñu jàpp ne media bi ñoo war a defaraat seen toogaay am na ñu jàpp itam nag ne président bi moo war a bàyyi di yëkkati yenn kaddu yi ci occasion ndax occasion bu mel noonu am na yeneen yu ëppoon solo yu mu war a wax dan di wax ci media bi kaddu yi nga xam ne yëkkati na ko foofu soo may ñaan rek yow nan nga gisee kàddu yooyu noonu nga xam ne njiiti réew mi yëkkati na ko jëmale ko ci media bi ndax is not a threat to the media ndax du tax because of media bi gën a ragal because of mi ngi wax ne media bi am na ñoo xam ne dañ nekk di report yoo xam ne negative report lañ nekk di def ñu bëri jàpp ko ne nag threat la te yow nan ko gisee as a advisor but maybe ci youth matters waaye tamit xam naa ne doo yem rek ci di ko advice ci ndaw ñi dina jàll lool soo bëgg naa ñu nga yëkkati sa kàddu nga wax ci loolu noonu.
waaw jërëjëf question boobu kontaan naa pour wax ci torop because Gambia suñ problème bi mainly mooy suñoo address issues dañ ko dee adressé xol duñ ko dee seetee ak lu si ëpp doole you know si gis boo xam ne dinañ ko seetee ak xel I was trying to avoid that card waaye foog ma waxee ko noonu because soo seetee président bu mu doon wax daf doon wax within a context contexte boobu mooy lan daf doon waxtaan moo amoon comme loo wax la ñu ngi jaajëfal waa Banjul Muslim Elders si programme bi nga xam ne initiate nañ ko depuis jamono tubaab yi ba toll nañ foo xam ne daanaka réew bi yëpp la daj every year mu am initiative boo xam ne dafa am ñi nga xam ne ñoo dee nekk speakers from different angles so ñëw si sa question bi président daf doon wax within a context te loolu nekkutoon ne kaddu boobu rek la waxoon dafa nekkoon jotaayu waxtaan te président gëm na leena mu ne waxtaan mooy mun a saafaral problème yi àdduna bi yëpp mu ne buñ toogut waxtaan duñ mun a am solution soo gisee ñuy toog fii di waxtaan dafa am issues yi nga xam ne loolu lañ dee toog ñu am wasi suñu opinion sometimes ñi nga xam ne problème bi ñoom ñu la affect dinañ ci bàyyi xel but the reality mooy ne man yaakaar naa ne media bi su fekkee ne ñoom dañoo toog di criticize ñoom tamit they should be allowed to be criticized and the president bu moo wax tamit I don't see any element of threat si li nga xam ne loolu la wax because lu mu wax mooy ne dañ war a bàyyi suñ xel te man déglu naa kaddu boobu noonu maa ngi toog ci kanam di déglu mooy ne am na ñi nga xam ne buñ eewoo suba dañoo jël seen plateforme duñ éenal réew mi jaama wala duñ wax jaama because and that is very important that's his observation as a njiiti réew am na tamit am na right ba pare dafa waxtaan ak nit ñi daf say gisal boppam so bu moo wax si loolu noonu mu ne nañ bàyyi wax li nga xam ne probablement dafa ekkati fitna du yóbbu réew kanam soo gisee media bi mun a practice because jaama moo am soo gisee ñu mun a practice suñ diine jaama moo am mu cite an exemple ne lan moo delloo Gambia si gannaaw moom si gis-gisaam and cite na examples of lot of businesses yi nga xam ne tey yooyu noonu they were very significant in terms of our economy and probably in terms of employment and all that. So he cited that the 1981 coup d'etat loolu bokkoon na si li nga xam ne delloo na réew mi gannaaw but at one point it was very difficult to move on so he was speaking within a context and I wish people look at it from that context but again also man lu ma wax mooy ñi nga xam ne they were victims of that circumstance li nga xam ne président loolu la wax ñoom ñoo si gis seen boppa because nekkul ne every media house even reacted to that not everybody and he went further to say probably ñi nga xam ne dañoo jël and man I agree with the president entirely and even ñi nga xam ne they are within the media fraternity they are concerned about the conduct of some of their members in terms of what they do luckily for us for example in the United States because when we're here we talk about advanced countries we all see for example the president of the United States the way nu mu dee adressé journaliste yi da ngaa taxaw sa ekkati sa loxo bëgg a laajte question mu la toogal
waaye gis nga ñu taxu tamit nit ñi kontaan si nit ñi ba léegi ñu
no but that's what you don't have to you say well whether yow ak sometimes yow sa programme bi am na noo dee adressé am na noo dee bëgg a dogee ñeneen they are not happy. You cannot get satisfy everybody. But again, also apart from that, I'm citing because then they quote advanced countries. I mean, we have seen, for example, the president of the United States. I mean, the fire or some media house, your people should be ashamed of you. You know, I don't want to go mention them. The fire call certain media houses and call them. But I mean, the reality is that we all have our observations about, journalism in this country. I think, we have a very young media as well. We have a lot of media, but their conducts and practices are very deliberate. In fact, prior to me joining the public side, I once wrote about, there is a particular medium, if you want to know anything sad about this country, I'm the minister, I'm the ambassador, I'm the living, go to their medium, you will see it. I once wrote about that, it was free. But just to say that the president intend no harm. He raised a flag that but again also he said there are good things that we can write about this country. Writing good things about this country is not, you are not doing it for President Barrow. We are doing it for the good of our country. And let me also cite an example of year before last, I believe so. Normally every independent, the office of the president through the media, a directorate of media, the director of media and public, the DPPR, then they organize a symposium, independent, pre-independent. Now, last year, year before last, then issue on people from different sectors. One of the speakers at that program came from a private sector, one of the banking institutions. This is from the private sector. And in that conversation, dafa flag something. And then that was at the end of her presentation, Mo flag and raised a concern that she's concerned the way Gambians are using the social media because this is having negative impact on their businesses because some of the investors highly, rely on those mediums to do an assessment whether jaral na len pour ñu dugga fi, so they pay attention to those things. And I also know of a lot of international organizations in nga they build on some of these things in nga they pick them up. I have worked for an international NGO mi nga those days every week it was a requirement that we will pick up trending issues on the social media, and we were sharing these informations with agencies in nga we have no idea what they were using those informations for. But like I said once again, it was not an attack on the media. Okay. Right. It was a concern that the president raised, just like he raised concern around some religious leaders in the new use platform. And sometimes we all listen to these people, we are not happy.
All right. wax nga ko est-ce que tamit because yaa ngi wax waxi ne léeg-léeg yenn investors yi dañoo depend ci yenn media yi pour mën a.
No, I'm saying a person from the private sector ki nga xam ne mu ngi in the banking sector. He flagged this.
ok so léegi lu ma bëgg a ñëwaat foofu rek mooy ndax report exemple ñu allege fenn corruption ci benn ministry wala ci benn government institution journalist bi report ko wala media bi report ko ndax loolu bokk dafa yàq deru Gambie bu fekkee lu am la ñun report ko wala bu fekkee benn ministre dafa def lu mu warul def wala président Barrow ci boppam am lu mu def media bi report wala something mais bi nag du ko favor because of sometimes ndax moom nu mu ko bëggee rek mooy always ñu report loo xam ne rek moom bu ko gisee xolam dina sedd. foog tamit loolu est-ce que bu ñu amee media bu mel noonu ndax duñ compromise tamit.
No, far from that. I think President Barrow is one of the most tolerant person in the whole world. I can say that. I'm not talking about Gambia. I'm talking about the whole world. And his tolerance, transcends beyond, bi nga xam ne journalists yi loolu la ñoo def fii. The media is allowed to do whatever. And the same media, they are strong critics of the government. When government functions happens, they are there. They are invited. They come without anybody frowning at them. So, if it was the president's desire to have people talk about, li nga xam ne it's good about, he's not talking about what would Ken Boom report on the negative. And that's what he's not questioning. Mu ngi question in terms of and sometimes those contents, you can see them out there. We all see some of the contents, we all know, these things are not fit for public consumption as a country. That sometimes, these are things in But again, also the corruption that you're talking about, what establishes corruption, for example? You've never had the president make statement about some of the issues that, for example, some of the media have written about. He never make any comment about them. So that means, for example, where it happens. Recently, the Auditor General raises concern about people sending inconclusive findings here and there, something like that. I don't know what was the right word used. They flagged that. They were concerned. Probably somebody within the institution working there is not, probably belongs to an opposition, and the only thing that you could do is muy génne lolu. And that's the highest of unprofessionalism. We are sitting here with professionals. So you imagine as auditor, sometimes some of the things that are coming out, the Auditor General have not issued those things.
Who is to be blamed?
No, man, I'm not apportioning blame on anybody. I'm saying
no, I'm just asking.
But as journalists,
okay.
one of the the things that is expected of a journalist is to do thorough finding. But you'll see sometimes some of our journalists, they don't report on issues. They talk about what they think. They don't report news. They talk about things that they put themselves into the story and talk about it. You listen to some of our journalists and the way and manner they talk about issues. Sometimes you are even concerned. You are here express personal sentiment. Even if you are interviewing somebody, you going bouncing on that person. They don't allow. Sometimes it becomes very unfair. And most times, sometimes they don't even try to attempt to get the other version of the story.
All right.
They will just go, as far as you carry the allegations and move with them. I'm saying it's important that the media is a very important institution. We appreciate this, and President Barrow values that a lot. The government values that a lot. But I'm saying we should be reasonable in what we do. We should be able to, what is wrong, for example, if you hear about something about the office of the Chief of Staff, or you hear something about the office of the President, you contact the Chief of Staff, for example, and minister as presidency. What is wrong in doing that? I'm just saying.
Sometimes they are not responsive.
No. I disagree entirely.
Yeah, but I'm telling you.
I disagree entirely. We are the most responsive, we are the most friendly media, in this country. You go anywhere. And the president, I have seen instances, the president is questioned. Look at for example, the Mansakunda. The Mansakunda initiative, but sometimes how many journalists even go to that program? How many journalists go to that program to ask critical questions?
Sometimes a minister sitting platform can do no.
No, look, you see, that is one part. But I'm saying the avenue exists. You may not. I'm just telling you. Mansakunda as an example.
Okay.
The government's level of transparency in terms of providing information and it has to be commended. The platform has to be commended. But what I'm saying here is that to say the president's speech was not an attack on the media.
Okay.
It was a concern that he flagged. And he said we have to discuss this.
Okay. Bala may ñëw ci sama paneliste yi finaliste yi lool non ndax fofu non platform la won pour president bi sax wax ci waxi media because of ñu ne president Barrow meeting di Banjul Muslim elders mu doon loo xam ne tradition occasion la boo xam ne every Eid dañ daf dee am ndax amul leneen lu ëppoon solo. muy wax ci media bi
lan mooy lu ëppoon solo
dama lay laaj rek.
No, okay, let me say this.
ndax dundu gu seer geeg yeneen
let me say this. Da nga laaj a question. And the Banjul Muslim elders, when they come in to meet with the president, these are people yi nga xam ne the past 3 years I've been following. Digga. Daf daan xew man duma ko dee follow. But what I have seen these people do, I got to understand that these people, they def extensive research. Bala ñoo ñëw on social issues. Every year, su ñoo ñëw, then they isale, concerns that they think the public is talking about. So by a hell, I don't know how much you've listened to the statement issued by the committee. When they came, they said, Your Excellency, last year, bu ñoo ñëw fii, jàmbaatoon nañ affaire traffic bi, the new road bi, accident bi bari woon nañ fa trop. And they recommended for highway patrol. Ak ñu am some speed bumps. When they came, they said, Alhamdulillah, Your Excellency, gis nañ lulu amna. Highway patrol, very effective highway patrol lañ am. And be pare speed bumps yi amoon nañ ko ci yoon bi. Even though sometimes highways, you don't have those things on highways. It was supposed to be an express route to go. But because of the frequent accidents, and this was flat. Ñaareel bi, they raise concerns over certain other issues. So when they came back, they reported back on some of the progresses that the government had made. Surprisingly, the way they were even saying, in fact, I was teasing our deputy chief of staff, who was the head of delivery at the Ministry of Public Service. Maneko, these people are doing exactly what you do at your ministry. It's about delivery. They are monitoring the delivery. So this year when they came, they raised concern over, for example, graveyard, Aferi Bamel. And we all know in most of our communities, Lulu. So they raised them and government response, and next year they will come back. So the platform was like, it's discussion centered on social issues. So when you said whether it's the right platform for the president to talk about this or so, I'm saying it's the right platform. The platform was apt to talk about this because I Khalifa for talk, and all of us, and the president threw the challenge that we have to look at this collectively, all of us. Fitness sujuge, it bounces on all of us. But it was not, I can assure you, the president was very calm, very comfortable when he was very calm when he was talking about this. But it of flag as an issue.
Okay, all right. Mr. Swane.
You brought the wrong person after my statement. I would have used Mr. Bojang or Mr. Kuran.
Yeah, all right. Mr. Swane, all right. Nan ko jangate president bi speech